Track wrestling here at the Grandview Open with Grandview coach Nick Mitchell, rolling up the mats. At this point, you guys got tested today, and you always do when you bring in the Division I teams and other high-level NAIA folks and JUCO people. What'd you get out of today?
We got what we wanted, man. Like you said, we got tested, and that's what we wanted. And you know, we got tested last weekend too over at Iowa State. And I don't know if we passed the test last week. I wasn't satisfied with the effort, with the fight, with the preparation overall. And I felt like we had a good week of training this week. And some of the results probably weren't what we wanted exactly this week. But I'm not really that focused on results right now. I'm focused on the process and on the performance, really. I mean, and that's what we always are. I mean, as much as people know, like, we hate to lose, we want to win everything, we're still focused on the performance, and today's performance was miles ahead of what last weekend was.
How hard is that to swallow when you know, you guys have had as much success as you have, and you just don't see that the first time out? Where does that come from, do you think?
Yeah, you know what, I mean, that's part of the deal, is we do have a lot of success throughout the year, and then you come to some of these early season tournaments and you know you're going to see a bunch of different really good guys from different divisions, and it is hard to walk out not just winning every match, you know, and it's frustrating, but that's exactly what we need right now. We have to get exposed. If we don't go out, and I mean, there's so many tournaments throughout the nation right now, and I know there's a lot easier tournaments than what was going on today and what were going on last weekend, but that's not the point right now. We got to go out and get exposed and figure out what we got to work on.
In a way, stuff like that's got to be almost good for you, though. When you're coming off a season where, in a tournament where you score 234.5 points and you win by, I don't even remember what the margin was, 100 plus. Yeah. Is it hard to bring guys back down to earth from that when they've got eligibility left on the clock and some of them have already accomplished what they want to accomplish?
Yeah, I hope not. I mean, you know, you always worry about that as a coach, that there's going to be some kind of lingering after effect from the year before. But we talk about it a lot, and I really hope that that's not an issue right now. But after these first 2 weekends, it definitely shouldn't, because everybody is taking a loss. You know, I mean, everybody's come out and wrestled, and some not as well as they wanted to. So we come out, we get exposed, and now we know we have work to do for sure.
How do you top 234.5? How do you top what you guys accomplished last year at the national tournament?
I don't know. I mean, obviously there's we won 5 weights last year, so you can win more than 5. That's part of it. You can score more points. But realistically, it's still, for year to year, we're just trying to find out how good we can be. And so I don't know. I don't know if we'll do that again. I don't know if that's a possibility for us. I hope it is. But I'm not really focused on that. I'm just focused on finding out how good we can be, and that's it.
You know, you're getting this thing rolling several years ago, and Acosta is one of the first guys that helps get this thing off the ground. Now you're coaching against him. What's it like seeing some of the guys that have come through this program now coaching guys in the other corner? It's
cool. I like it. I mean, obviously you get heated when you're coaching, and you know, and you got tough matches and everything, but I still love those guys, and I'm proud of them, and it's cool to see them kind of passing the knowledge on, you know, and I know he's coaching his kids the right way, and he's doing a good job, and so it's good. I mean, I'm proud of him for sure.
And speaking of that, what are your thoughts on the rematch at 97 of last year's national finals? What did you take away from that bout?
About what I expected. You know, it's going to be a tough match every time. I really, again, I felt good about our effort in that match. We just have to clean some things up. That's it. And realistically, Evan Hansen is miles ahead of where he was last year at this time. I mean, he didn't get off to a very good start at the beginning of the year last year. And, I mean, there's a few things in that match that, I mean, he's got a cradle locked up a couple times. I mean, it could go either way, and that's a big difference in the match. So we'll clean it up, and like I said, it's about the end of the year. So right now I feel good where he's at.
Grant Henderson, returning national champ, wins it at 165. What did you like about what you saw from him today?
Best thing about Grant was he had a terrible weekend last weekend. You know, he just kind of let some things get in his head. He was a little bit banged up, and he let it kind of affect his focus. And today, he just did a really good job of being solid all the way through. I mean, he was solid all day long today, and he just stayed good where he's good. And he's one of those guys I was pretty proud of today, just to come back. It's hard to come back from a weekend like that. He was itching to get out there all week, and he wanted to compete again.
You guys aren't going back to Midlands, I understand. You guys have had some success there in the past, and no invites this year. And I know it's a big deal to your program to go face some Division I guys and have success there. Were you surprised by that, and your thoughts on that, and not being invited back?
Yeah, I was really surprised. We, we've had as many as 6 bids almost every year. I mean, a couple of years we had 5. And I know some years we've taken less than that because our national duels are less than 2 weeks after that tournament, so we have to make sure we're healthy. But we've had somebody placed there every year except one. That was last year. We took a pretty small group last year. And so to me, it's just frustrating because we want to wrestle the best competition, and I didn't really ever get an answer on why either. And I know that because of the RPI and some of the way the qualification system works in Division I, it doesn't do those guys any good to compete against our guys. But you're talking maybe one guy in a bracket. In my opinion, if that changes somebody's qualification for the national tournament, then a guy probably has bigger issues to worry about. So to me, the Midlands has always been an exciting tournament because of some of the extra faces you see in there. Some of the high school guys that competed back in the day, some of the, the guys that are out of college wrestling that are still competing. David Taylor competed a couple of years ago. That was pretty cool. I don't know if they let him back in this year or not, because it's not going to help the RPI for those guys if they wrestle him. So I'm just curious. I wish I knew why, because we want to compete with the best, and that's it. What
can you do to fill that void in your schedule?
Really, there's probably not much this year because we found out late. I assumed we were going to be in, and kind of kept reaching out and didn't hear until late. So this year it won't be much. But some of that is we'll just be healthy and ready to go for national duels, because that's the next thing. So that's what we're going to do. And then in the future, if we we'll try to get in again, and if we get in, great. And if not, then we're going to look. I mean, there's some other options out there. We just got to make sure it's fits in our schedule at the right time.